Call to order the City Council meeting for February 21st. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the roll?
Belzak.
Here.
Clistic. Gustafson.
Here.
Kenny. Shower.
Here.
Sullivan.
Here.
Vaughn.
Here.
5 present and 2 absent.
We have a quorum. It takes us to questions and comments and announcements of a general nature. This is inserted in our agenda for anyone who would like to present anything to the City Council that's not on this agenda tonight. This way then you can get your comments in and you don't have to wait till the end of the meeting. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up now that's not on this agenda? Just state your name, Jerry.
I'm going to turn this so I'm not just looking at Ted. Jerry Legansky, 7929 Farmingdale, Ward 4. In November 2021, I addressed the City Council here to make you aware of the countless interruptions my neighborhood was having with ComEd. We were literally having outages on a monthly basis and power surges. It was really beyond insanity. It was that bad. My Fourth Ward neighbors were frustrated, and we even questioned what damage it was maybe having in our homes between, sump pumps, computers, appliances. So we didn't just, shrug it off and say, oh, well, it's, that's just the way things are. We took a lot of action. So we did a lot of calls to ComEd and emails. I can't tell you the countless emails my neighbors sent to them. And it was just, constant calls and emails. So I'm here again tonight to let you know that the perseverance does pay off. We received a second letter last week outlining all the changes that ComEd's going to be making in our neighborhood. I think the biggest improvement is going to be they're going to take a overhead line that's just east of 79th and Sawyer, and they're going to replace it with an underground line, which I think is going to really help. So, again, I just wanted to let the council know that we see improvements coming, and I want to thank my neighbors for being persistent, and just let everybody know that hopefully the work's supposed to start in the spring. Dan, I don't know if you've been made aware of this, but we're very happy, so thank you.
We'll
And
keep
did
you
you get
posted,
those?
Jerry, and when we get the permits, they usually come in, and so we'll keep you posted on.
Yeah, they said in the spring, Dan, so I got to think any month they're going to start with that underground.
If they've
Line.
assigned a project name to it and/or a number, if you could forward that to me, and then
Sure.
I can follow up with our external affairs director to kind of get you a better timeline
Great.
and status.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dan. Thanks.
Thanks, Jerry. Anyone else? Okay, that takes us to,
Someone with his hand in the back?
yeah. Just state your name.
Dave Cada, you guys probably don't know me. I'm sending the emails every couple of weeks when my mailbox gets run over on 67th Street over there. Thank you all for responding, those that have. I will not take very much time. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm here and that we're having, I appreciate everything that everyone's done, specifically the Darien Police Department. They're always out there when they can be. I understand it's a big town and there's a lot that they need to do and they can't be there policing. It is a 25-mile-per-hour street. There are people, there's families, there's bus stops, and we do have nonstop issues of people 50, 60, 70 miles an hour every single day. We put up those speed signs, the utility did, and I know that they record the speeds. I encourage you to look at those because it's dangerous. Come by and just look at right where my daughter's bus stop is, there's tracks. They went right through somebody's yard. They just veered off. I don't know when it was. So it's really kind of getting a little bit scary. And I just encourage everyone to try to, do something, think about it. And I encourage you to reach out to Downers Grove. They have a similar street, Prairie, that connects two busy roads. They've taken a number of measures that have really made a big impact. You can see on their website everything they've done. So anyway, I'm not going to take up time. I know we got a packed agenda here. So I just wanted to say I'm here. I'll be here every single meeting from here on out. And I appreciate what everyone's done so far. So thank you.
Dan, could you identify what we've done already?
Yes, and I'm sorry, are you the gentleman where we recently put,
Yes.
okay, I'm Dan, I'm the one that
I appreciate
initiated
it. Thank you.
that.
The bollards, beautiful. People, boom, right up to it. They slow down. They go right through, and then it's just like a.
No, and again, our goal is, and for those that don't know, we recently put up ballards. Those ballards are basically a choking mechanism with a center island. They're all polycarbon delineators, basically, that allows people to hit them and not be injured or create additional liability. So the center line is based with yellow sticks, we'll refer to them as, and then the lanes are choked down on each side to approximately 10.511 feet, and that's for the larger snow plows to get through. Now, our goal was within the next week to go back out there now, since the weather's getting a little bit nicer, and to recount the traffic counts along with the speeds that are being conducted through there, or that motorists are taking through there. So based on what we see there, that was the first thought process, to see whether or not this has calmed it. This is a traffic calming measure. If this doesn't calm it, and again, I don't know what it actually means if this doesn't calm it, whether it's 20%, 30%, we'll see what all the speeds are over a 7-day period. Based on that, let's just presume that the count is the same as it was a year ago. In that particular case, what we would do then is come back with a different plan. That plan would be hardscaping consisting of concrete and a larger S-curve, if you want to say, because we have room on the south side to create that S-curve. So obviously that does involve some cost. So while we've looked at that, we want to take the most basic approach to it to determine whether or not it works.
I'll chip in. I'm on my third mailbox. They're not shipping, so if you let me know what you need. So I appreciate it, Dan. Thank you so much.
That's fine. We'll have your email too, so we'll keep you posted, okay?
Yeah, you mentioned there's enough room for S-curb. Is that in the area where the delineators are?
Correct.
Not for, it is a very long street, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but
basically
the
what-
traffic counts will tell.
Right, and basically in a nutshell, it would implement an island that's probably 4 to 5 foot wide, and then it'd be a larger curve where people would have to slow down, and a curb and gutter on both sides to help guide the traffic at a slower pace.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes,
Someone in the
please.
back.
Hi, my name is Sarah Koza. I also live on 67th Street. And I do appreciate everything that you guys have done. I appreciate the signs, I appreciate the ballards. I would just like to ask, when you do the traffic study to see how the ballards are working, will you be doing down by Tennessee or Alabama where the other speed limit sign is, or the radar is?
It wasn't the intent, and the reason that wasn't the intent was because there really hasn't been any concerns on those roadways. The real concern has been right at Richmond within that vicinity.
I mean, I live at Leonard. September 2020, my car was parked on the side of the road, got hit at 7 o'clock at night, in the evening in September, so it was still light then. I mean, this is not a new problem. And I will be honest, I have 2 young children. They are 8 and 5. And I am to the point now where I'm not comfortable letting them play up front. We used to have the ditches. They got filled in for the storm drains. And it looks a lot nicer, but I actually felt safer when the ditches were there. My anxiety when my kids are playing basketball is so high, I scream if they get anywhere near the sidewalk. Because cars constantly are doing 35 to 40 miles an hour. And I could care less about my mailbox that got destroyed last weekend, because it wasn't my child. I can replace a mailbox. I can't replace my kids. I can replace my car. I can't replace my kids. Something needs to be done. So I appreciate that you're looking into it, but Richmond is not the only problem. It is the entire stretch.
There's a half a block from me, just so you know.
Yeah, if you don't mind, if you could write down your information and email address, and then I could just do a follow-up here within the next couple of weeks.
Our kids are at the same bus stop, so. Yeah. That's how we know each other.
We'll schedule an additional traffic count for that area.
And do we have any time as to when the light's going to go in on 67th? Because that may not deter people that want to do this, but it'll deter them from taking that route if they get stuck at that light for a long period of time.
Thank you. Best case scenario,
I was gonna say, yeah. Turn the length of the light up.
best case scenario is May, June. At this point, we have a pre-construction meeting coming up March 1st, and we just got the catalog cuts.
Anyone else?
Do speed bumps do anything?
Unfortunately, we took a look at the speed bumps, and based on the configuration of the roadway and based on, I'll call it some policy, the speed bumps will be too close in proximity to curves and or driveways. And one thing the residents need to realize that when you put a speed bump in, especially down a collector street like 67th Street, during the summertime, you're gonna hear trucks, whether it's UPS trucks, box trucks, you're gonna hear that noise from the axle bouncing basically, and that will become another issue. So there's really limited space, or barely, there's no space on that roadway to have.
Chronic speeders will just go faster in between them.
That's always a possibility, yes.
And Dan, how do the snow plows, did those impact the snow plows at all?
Speed bumps? They do, again, it's a different type
That
of,
become a danger for them, or?
they know it's there, the route drivers that are assigned to those know how to handle them.
Okay.
But yeah, you can't be doing 20 miles per hour with a snow plow and come on top of a speed bump,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah.
One question I'd have, the whole route is a dotted line, a passing zone. There are a number of blind hills where there is a passing zone, and there's have been a number of accidents, but what happens is when we're driving 25, even 30 down there, you do get people that are passing then too. And that becomes a danger. Has there been any look into a double yellow or a white, or I'm not thinking of my driving.
Yeah, technically, should it be a double yellow? The answer is yes, but due to how many driveways are there, if you had a double yellow, technically you could not cross that double yellow to get into your driveway. And or the intersections, if you look at the intersections, they're not lined up parallel with each other. They're all offset in 90% of the cases there.
Anyone else? If not, it takes us to approval of our minutes. I'd like to ask for a motion for approval of the January 16th, 2023 City Council minutes. Moved by Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Shower. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
Those minutes have been approved. Now I need a motion for the February 6th, 2023 City Council minutes. Moved by Alderman Gustafson, seconded by Alderman Belzak. Again, any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
The minutes have been approved. It takes us to receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications they'd like to share with the council? Alderman Gustafson.
Yeah, I worked with a resident on Beller Road and Woodvale today, and we got the necessary signatures for a street lamp, so I passed this information to Dan, so we're pursuing that.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, that takes us to our mayor's report. And tonight is one of those happy nights. Usually, unless we're talking about raising chickens in your backyard, or we don't get a big crowd. So it's nice to have all of you out there tonight. you get a chance to see a city council meeting, but you also get the chance to celebrate the contributions of our Citizen of the Year. So I'm looking for, I'd probably read it first.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. This is a resolution recognizing Deborah Coleman as the 2023 Citizen of the Year in the city of Darien, Illinois. Please bear with me, this is long. Whereas Deborah Coleman was raised on the farmland in the settlement home kitty corner from McDonald's, where the Country Lane apartments are located, she is the great-granddaughter of the two original founders of Lace, now Darien. The Anderman land was on one side and the Bushman farm on the other. History expanses to the still standing farmhouse that is south of Gower Elementary School on Clarendon Hills Road. And whereas after the tragic passing of her father and brother, Deborah Coleman's mother moved Deborah and her 5 siblings to Darien from Reno, Nevada in 1954 to be closer to family. And whereas Deborah's son Chad is also a resident of Darien, and whereas Deborah's historical activities to and for the city are encompassing. She has been a member of the Darien Historical Society for over 10 years. She is curator of the Artifact of the Month and is special events chairman. She is also present as scheduled for the third Sunday of the month open house. She is joint author of the book Images of America, Darien. Deborah was a champion for the cause to restore the 1861 cast flag, which is on display in the museum. She is visible during the spring and fall seasons and between as needed, working the landscaped area around the museum. Deborah helps chair the annual May plant sale in conjunction with the Darien Women's Club. She takes part in organizing the Society's annual ice cream social, January reception, and holiday tree lighting event. Her historical persistence does not stop at the museum. For the past 7 years, Deborah has chaired the annual walk-along tour at St. John Lutheran Cemetery, located on Clarendon Hills Road and 67th Street, which was established in 1859. She has orchestrated the Civil War enactments on the land. Her father had a distinguished military career in General Patton's Third Army advance across Europe. As the cemetery has original undisturbed prairie land, Deborah works the land every Thursday, May through October, to keep the plants and soil growth in its virgin state, which has gained local and state recognition. To add to her historical connection to the area, her great-great-grandfather, Fred Anderman, served 2 terms on the original DuPage County Board of Supervisors. A plaque hanging in the county building recognizes him as one of the 5 founding members. And whereas her cousin Ron Anderman recounted, Deb, like her ancestors who helped settle Illinois and DuPage County, is a public-spirited person who has served to make Darien a nice place to live. And whereas Deborah attended Hinsdale High School, located at 55th and Grant Streets, and is a graduate of the University of Illinois, and whereas Deborah is a person of faith, she has been an active member of St. John Lutheran Church in Darien for more than 50 years. The church, incepted in 1859 by Deb's ancestors, is one of the longest faiths and grace-based ministries serving the community. Deborah was an active supporter of the church's preschool and is a longtime member of the church choir. For 2 decades, Deborah and her brother taught confirmation classes. She continues to teach Sunday school. Deb is chair of the Altar Guild and is on the board of lay leaders. And whereas Deborah was on the Indian Prairie Public Library Wish Book Committee for the new library building and was a longtime volunteer in the children's department, she continues to be a resource to the library for any Darien historical needs. She was a tremendous resource for the Darien's 50th anniversary celebration, and whereas her nominator states, for all her achievements and continued involvement, Deb is very quiet, unassuming, and a humble person. She is the behind-the-scene, ever-energized worker. Her works and actions speak loudly for her. And whereas Deborah states her greatest joy is being a comfort dog handler, she has visited numerous retirement and nursing homes with Shammy and now Jeremiah. During the COVID pandemic, some of the visits stopped. She continued to visit shut-ins in private homes in similar settings who were in need of reassurance. She pays visits to the library for special programs. Because COVID brought a new need to Deb and Jeremiah, she was asked to visit many area schools, including those in River Grove, Westchester, Darien, Homer Glen, and Aurora, to assist students with their anxieties. Many children face sickness, lack of belonging, and death in their families. The dogs would wag their tail and wait for a pat, bringing relief and relaxation to the groups. Deborah notes that all her comfort dogs take on the emotions of those they are visiting. When their tails stop wagging, their emotions are filled, and she knows it's time for them to leave and rest. Shammy went to Sandy Hook for 3 weeks to assist the community in their needs. In their own way, her companions also bring her comfort. They are her family, and she cares deeply for them. Her favorite activity is to do and looks forward to all the travel encounters together. Whereas her cousin states, Darien is a nice place to live, sums up much of what drives Deb Coleman in her love of this community. As a nice place to live, Darien is a place of dedicated families, a place of faith, and a community grounded in service. For Deb, Darien has been a place to raise her family, and in the course to serve and support of various school, community, and human activities. And whereas Deborah is and will continue to be one of the many shining stars in Darien, making Darien a nice place to live. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Darien, DuPage County, Illinois, that Deborah Coleman be hereby designated the 2023 Citizen of the Year for the City of Darien in recognition of her years of dedicated service to the City of Darien. Can I have a motion to support that? Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderwoman Sullivan, and the roll.
Shower,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Clistic,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Mayor Kays,
Aye.
Ragona, aye. Corin,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Vanna,
Aye.
12 ayes and no nays.
It's been approved, Deb. Congratulations. We're going to take a picture first.
Okay.
Because I'm going to take these right back from you.
Okay.
She's not ready to talk. I was waiting. Okay.
You'll get these officially, then I do your.
Brian, can I get you to scoot away?
More.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me open the door.
Brian, stop it.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, now you can talk.
Sorry.
No.
I don't have that fancy new phone that can take you out of the picture.
Mayor and alderpersons, I would like to thank you and the committee for all the work you've done in naming me the 2023 Darien Citizen of the Year. I'm honored by this recognition.
Mary, you want to give some dates and things?
I sure do. Congratulations, so well deserved.
Once again, I want to thank the incredible Darien Citizen of the Year Committee. I just serve as the liaison. They do all the work, and they've done an extraordinary job preparing and then recommending you to City Council. So thank you so much. In celebration of your official recognition tonight, there will be a cake and coffee reception following the City Council meeting just across the parking lot in the police station community room. So I hope everyone here in the audience and up here can join us tonight for that celebration. The celebration and the party continues on Friday, March 3rd for the 2023 Citizen of the Year Dinner Dance and Banquet honoring Deborah. It'll be from 6 to 11 p.m. at Alpine Banquets, which is located at Cass and Frontage Road. The cost is $52 per person. It includes family-style dinner of chicken, pork, pasta, veggies, soup, salad, potatoes, an open bar, and the delicious Helen's Famous Kalachki, and a DJ with dancing and a recognition program. You can still sign up for that event through the end of business day tomorrow if you come to City Hall, or if you call City Hall, or if you email Diane Novarini at City Hall to get your spot to join in on the festivities. So be sure to come and celebrate with us tonight and on March 3rd at Alpine Banquets.
Thank you, Mary. You're all welcome to stay with us for the rest of the meeting. We'll try to get through this so that we can all join you for some of that cake and coffee. With that, though, we'll move on to our city clerk's report. Joanne?
No report this evening.
Our city administrator's report.
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Department head information and questions.
Welcome.
Mr. Gombeck or Chief Thomas?
Go ahead, Greg, after you.
Beauty before age.
I'd say that.
Just one issue today. We've been trying to move forward with police community discussions, interactions with within the police department, trying to make that a reality. We've done quite a few. We've done Coffee with a Cop, National Night Out, Cop on Top, Shop with a Hero, and a number of other events. One of those goals is just to have a good relationship between the community and the police. I think we've been mildly successful and like to expand on that theme. I think we will be. Deputy Chief Norton is spearheading that process, and he's a good guy for it. One outreach opportunity came to us from the library. We plan on having monthly meetings there. The library will facilitate giving us a room, and we'll deal with the topics and go from there. So it's a great opportunity. Another item people are talking about is the Neighborhood Watch. I'm not certain that is the best direction to go. Neighborhood Watch was popular in the 70s and 80s when there was no means of mass communication like we have now. In the past, you would call a block captain. The block captain would call 3 or 4 people. Those 3 or 4 people would call more. Wasn't very effective, and now that we have Twitter and Facebook and other social media, there's better opportunities to get that done. The type of conversations that was had at Neighborhood Watch, such as locks and crime prevention through environmental design, other issues, we're going to continue to do that either at the library or within those neighborhood group meetings. The first neighborhood group meeting, which has gotten bigger than just a neighborhood meeting, in fact, really has grown to a ward meeting, and some conversations seems like it's turning into a full city meeting, which is great. That meeting will take place on March 16th at 6:30 in the community room next door if they get the cake cleaned up from today. We'll try to be transparent as possible. If you're looking at certain pieces of information, some of that answers are going to be, it's an ongoing investigation. I don't want to harm an ongoing investigation, so we'll move on from there. Some things are personal and private, such as a sexual assault. We won't be discussing those items. Some items, again, I don't want to call hard and fast rules, obviously. So if we have an issue with a serial rapist, or we want to talk about how to protect oneself during a a dating opportunity, those type of things. Those are all great opportunities to have a good discussion on how to keep safe in different environments. We'll discuss crime, crash, concerns of any type that the public may have. We'll discuss legislation like we have already with the Safety Act, Pretrial Fairness Act, and those type of things. We can discuss most policies and procedures, such as why we pursue in some situations and why we don't pursue in other situations. So again, we hope to have those neighborhood group meetings, the meetings at the library. They're not designed for the police to tell the public what the police want the public to know. The concept is to give the public an opportunity to discuss with the police what the police wants and needs to know. So what the community should really drive the questions and answers in the program, and this one coming up, this first neighborhood group meeting was spearheaded by a person in the neighborhood. So it's and she's very motivated to get this done, and so we want to make this work out well for her. And I think that first one will just spur additional meetings. Again, it came from Aurora, and I was commander on the west side of Aurora, so the west side alone had 32 group meetings. So it's when they get going very well. A lot of good information gets discussed. So looking forward to that first meeting on March 16th at 6:30 at the community room next door.
Anything, Dan?
No, Mr. Mayor, unless I'll take any questions.
It's unfortunate that I have to mention what I'm going to be mentioning, but I feel compelled to mention this. I'd like to take a few minutes to add to the comments Chief Thomas just completed regarding the police community meeting schedule for March 16th. The publication of that meeting led to one of our elected officials misinterpreting some information. And it's unfortunate that an individual, specifically an elected official, and a candidate for office would publicly make statements that have no basis in truth. Today, our city administrator presented each of our aldermen with the email history between Chief Thomas and the elected official in question, where the chief responded to each of the misleading statements made by that individual. While the city staff and the mayor's office will deny an elected official or candidate the use of city resources to promote a political position or candidate, elected officials have always been able to schedule meetings with residents from their ward to cover topics pertinent to those residents. So if you're a candidate and you're sitting on this council and you ask us to publicize something for you as a political candidate, we won't do that. City does not utilize city resources to do that. Whether purposeful or due to a misperception, putting out a message publicly with the purpose of impugning the city staff is worthy of a strong response from my office. I will not tolerate an individual, specifically an elected official, misrepresenting the city of Darien and its staff, its police chief, its city administrator, or any other staff member, as this person did. This is wrong. And that's why I'm addressing this tonight. I will not tolerate it. This individual could have discussed this one-on-one or come in and had a discussion with a group of us, but chose to put this out on Facebook. And what he put out on Facebook was nothing but a bunch of misleading statements. That's wrong, and I will not tolerate that. I'm sorry that on such a joyful night where we're celebrating Deborah Coleman and her Citizen of the Year, I have to make a statement like this, but I want the public to know that since this individual put it out on Facebook, I needed to respond to say, this just isn't true. And we have emails to show that it's not true. And with that, we'll continue our meeting.
I just want to make one comment. I think it's important for the residents to know that it was not Alderman Vaughn or Alderman Gustafson that was part of that.
No.
So I just want to make sure that's clear because we are running for office.
No,
Thank you.
it was not. It was not. So with that, our treasurer's report, our warrant, Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting council's approval of warrant number 222320 in the amount of $618,814.53 from the listed funds and payroll for the period ended February 9th in the amount of $286,146.45 for a total to be approved of $904,960.98.
Motion to approve. Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Belzak. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
The warrant's been approved. Michael, our monthly report.
Monthly report reflecting the 9 months ended January 31st, 2023. General fund year-to-date revenue of $15,244,811. Expenses of $10,373,104. Current balance $7,770,642. Water fund year-to-date revenue of $5,474,410. Expenses of $5,551,120. Current balance of $3,370,161. Motor fuel tax fund year-to-date revenue of $951,248. Expenses of $435,407. Current balance of $1,453,876. Water depreciation fund year-to-date revenue of $41,729. Expenses of $1,937,780. Current balance of $1,860,656. And the capital improvement fund year-to-date revenue of $1,870,814. Expenses of $3,571,467. Current balance $13,972,777.
Any questions for Mike on the monthly report? If none, that moves us to standing committee reports. On to the aldermen have reports. Alderman Belzak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next Municipal Services Committee meeting will be next Monday, February 27th at 6 p.m. in council chambers.
Thank you. Mary?
The next Economic Development Committee meeting will be on next Thursday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. in council chambers. And the Administrative Finance Committee of a whole will start its review of the proposed fiscal year 24 budget starting tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. in council chambers. And that will then move on to next Tuesday, February 28th at 6:30 p.m. in council chambers, and with every Tuesday following that as needed, but hoping to accomplish the full review and discussion of the budget in 2 meetings, and then it will be presented to the city council in a public hearing on April 4th, Monday at the council meeting.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, and by the way, the review of the budget and the Administrative Finance Committee of a whole will be televised, and it will be on YouTube, and all of the documents that the elected officials have received for the proposed budget are located on the City of Darien website under Administrative Finance Committee.
Mike?
Okay, the police pension fund meeting has been rescheduled. It was supposed to be last week. It's been rescheduled to next Thursday, March the 2nd at 6 o'clock across the street in the police training room.
Chief, do we have a police committee meeting?
We do not.
Okay. I'd also like to announce that the Community Action Team, our Saturday group, will be meeting on Saturday, March 11th at the Indian Prairie Library from 10 o'clock till 12 noon. All right, takes us to question, comments, agenda related. Does anybody in the audience have anything to say about our agenda, questions about our agenda? If not, I move on to old business. There being none, I move to the consent agenda, and I read the following. Item A, consideration of a motion granting a waiver of a raffle license bond requirement for Holy Trinity Catholic School. Item B, consideration of a motion granting a waiver of a raffle license bond requirement for the Darien Arts Council. Item C, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Clark Mosquito for additional 3 years at a cost of $42,500 per year. And item D, consideration of a motion to approve August 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th as the date for the Darien Chamber of Commerce to hold the Darien Fest 2023 celebration in the parking lot of Q Bar at 8109 Cass Avenue and providing police protection for the Darien Fest 2023. Motion to approve. Alderman Belzak, second by Alderman Shower, and the roll.
Belzak.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
The consent agenda has been approved. New business, we have a couple items there, May 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th as the date for the Darien Chamber of Commerce to hold the Memorial Day Carnival Welcome Summer 2023 celebration in the parking lot of Q Bar at 8109 Cass Avenue and providing police protection for the Memorial Day Carnival Welcome Summer 2023 celebration. Motion to approve. Alderman Vaughn, seconded by Alderman Belzak. Any questions or comments?
It was just the question to clarify if there's going to be any outside music at the event.
There's going to be no music. It's simply going to be a carnival. There'll be any alcoholic beverages will be sold inside Q Bar as they normally are. But I've already talked to Bob Taft. There's no outside music.
Okay.
This is just a carnival for just to welcome summer. Mary?
Will the same parking situation be available to carnival goers Memorial Day weekend as it would be at Darien Fest with the adjoining businesses, but then keeping in mind that the businesses on the other side of Cass Avenue still have activity going on? So it'll be the same, like no parking zone set up like it is for Darien Fest in August?
Correct.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. We have the roll.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
5 ayes and 2 absent.
The item has been approved. It takes us to questions and comments and announcements of a general nature. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share with the council, or does the council have anything they'd like to share with the audience? And I think with the crowd we have, nobody wants to share anything. Dan?
I have one quick thing to share. I have the most updated zoning maps in color, so I'd like to pass them out to the council members after the meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, well then, I ask for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Shower, second by Alderman Vaughn. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.
See you across the street, everybody.